And we're here again at GenCon. I'm here with Peter Adkison and royalty, gaming royalty,
Oh gosh.
sitting right here, right next to me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for being allowing us to come here and interview you because I hear you're doing a really awesome project right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's called Chaldea. Chaldea is the name of a fantasy world that I've been working on since the 80s. You know, I've run it as a role-playing world under several different systems over the years. And so it's kind of like bringing that idea of your fantasy role-playing world to life through film, comics, and fiction. So we have three media that we're using to tell this story, all digital, all of it aggregated on our website, worldofchaldea.com.
Wow. So I really like that aspect of the different medias that you mix together. Now, do you mix all of them through a single episode, or is it?
So any given episode would probably is typically going to be just one media, either fiction or graphic novel, or if we throw film into there, we'll integrate it if we do. But filming is a lot more expensive, so and so we're on a budget. So most of the story will be told in fiction and graphic novel, and with the occasional film short that gets come in here. But yeah, so sometimes we'll mix it. We're not totally exactly sure where, we're going to let this evolve. This is kind of a new format, so it'll evolve as we work with it.
And it being a new thing, I mean, as a kid, I played a lot of role-playing games, and I've always there's some really awesome games that I played in that I wanted to see up on the screen.
Yes.
And be able to see that come to life, played with, like,
Well,
good actors.
I agree. It's been a lot of fun to take characters. Most role-playing game experiences don't actually create necessarily that good of a story, but you get a lot of good resources. You get oh, that was a cool character, or that was a cool encounter, or that was a cool type of thing that happened. But then when we did this, we kind of just considered none of that sacrosanct. We just considered that a whole bunch of raw material, throw it into a bucket, and then kind of pull out the gems and craft a new story that goes over, that pulls from the best of it. And it turned out actually the villains did a better job of kind of bringing us around to okay, this story's got to be about that guy, right? So, and then it's a lot of fun to go and cast these characters, find actors to personify who this character was in our minds. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love working with the actors.
I actually spoke with Jen Page yesterday, and she's a character on your...
She's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes. Jen Page plays an elf, like a druid rogue type character. We try not to overuse class names like that, but a hermetic elf that lives in the forest who has mad sneaking around skills. So Jen plays this character, and she's a wonderful part of our team. She also helps write the character, so we've collaborated on this character. I like doing that a lot,
That's
too.
amazing that you have an actor go in and actually write for the character. And she talked about it a little bit, but I think it really gives the character a little more depth when you have the actor be able to, have that more of a connection with that character.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the actor too. So an actor like Jen, who is also a filmmaker herself and has written and starred in lots of different stuff, that's a very natural, and she understands fantasy. There are other actors who would prefer, no, just give me a polished script and let me sink into the character and find my own interpretation based off of what you've given me, right? So it's all, different ways are legitimate, but yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So, throughout your career in gaming, how long did it take you before you were thinking maybe I should do something like this?
Oh, that's a good question. I've always wanted to. I started Wizards of the Coast back in 1990. And what I wanted to do then was, I didn't know Richard Garfield yet. Didn't know Magic the Gathering was what would put us on the map. I wanted to make role-playing products.
Yeah.
So the very first Wizard of the Coast product was a role-playing book that I wrote with my friend Steve Connard, who's helping me on this as well. And but that all came out of a love of role-playing. Started playing role-playing games for me in 1978.
Yeah.
I started doing Chaldea in '81, and so yeah, that's all. And so through a series of businesses that I've run since then, Wizards, GenCon, Hidden City, I, in the back of my mind is always like, you know what I really like to do is find a way that I can do something in business that goes back to my world that I created. And I didn't want to just do another fantasy role-playing world like D&D supplement type of thing. So I really wanted to tell a story, and so that's why I decided to do this.
Yeah, and that story is amazing because, like I said, I've always wanted to see that up on screen, a great game that we played before, and then you're doing it, and it's just, I don't know, it's inspiring.
It's
very
it's a
inspiring.
geek out moment.
It is a geek out moment.
Awesome. Yes, it's a geek out moment.
Yeah,
that's
it definitely
that's
is.
that's the only way to explain it. It's just like geek out.
So this is going to be playing on Saturday
Yes,
at midnight.
Here at GenCon, August 1st, Saturday night at midnight, we'll be showing the screening of our pilot episode, War Room.
Okay.
And it's a 20 minutes, and that one does blend both comic style, graphic novel style, media, and film. And it's about a 2-to-1 ratio of the two. Yep.
That's very nice. And then you can see what's going on back here. If you're checking it out, it looks pretty cool. I really like how they mix the different medias in there.
And if I can add, this particular film features miniatures and props that were created by Uncle Duke Seyfried.
Wow.
The legend in historical miniatures, and he's been making miniatures since the 1960s, right? So, and he also plays the part of the old toy maker in the film.
Wow.
Yeah, so so we have him, you know, so it's a little bit of an homage to him, and also an homage to fantasy and historical wargaming, because all this came out of that. D&D came out of historical wargaming. So, you know, we had to
Very
pay props
cool.
to where this all came from.
Definitely, yes.
And GenCon was started by Gary Gygax before he invented Dungeons & Dragons with Dave Arneson. In 1967, it was started as a wargaming convention.
Wow.
So we owe a lot to wargaming.
Definitely. But if you're here at GenCon, again, it's going to be Saturday, 12 midnight. So go ahead and check that out. And where's that going to be?
Westin Hotel, Grand Ballroom 3.
That's going to be real easy for us because we're actually in that hotel, so that's going to be cool.
Come downstairs,
Perfect.
check it out. Yeah, it's free.
But thanks a lot
Absolutely.
for
Thanks for having me on
being
your
on
show.
It's
All
great.
right, take care.
I'm Vince. Geek out, SA.
Geek out.